Welcome to Corporate Campaigns, GA325. This is Lecture 1, an introduction. Introduction. In the course Corporate Campaigns, the book, projects, and discussion questions will focus on what makes good quality publication design. The book is divided into 3 sections. The first has the core of our information. It talks about what makes good print design from beginning to end, a little bit about the history of publication design, and the different types of print design. Print design has gone from metal press to current digital print production. Computerization of the printing process has impacted both the artist's work and the final visual outcome of the publication. Of course, choice of paper has always been an important consideration, as well as typography, when working on a printed publication. With digital printing, books, magazines, and newspapers are created quickly, with little need to measure type, take photos, or create graphics by hand. Although we have all this technology, such as online books, magazines, and graphics, the desire to hold a newspaper in our hand has not dwindled. Artists that create these publications go through a process of outlining, gathering image and text, making roughs, putting it all on the computer, and producing the final output. These early steps are done along with the art director and client in order to get the desired final product. This outline or plan is written down and called a design brief. Reading materials are an important part of our lives. We are influenced by advertising, art, and opinion. Graphic designers structure these print materials guided by various company objectives. Each type of publication involves different issues and requires different solutions. Some are made purely to sell. Others are to influence, and some are used to create a corporate image. In order to end up with a desired multi-page project, 3 functions have to be considered and incorporated. The primary is the written material or content, the basic information. The second function is to aim at a particular audience. Who do you want to appeal to? The third function is built into the type and images. It's having an angle or viewpoint within the text. Not all written material has angles, but many are created with a viewpoint in mind, either to sell a product or to advertise a corporate image. An example of this would be a conservative point of view in a newspaper article. These are all part of the plan of design brief. All companies have objectives, often to promote themselves. All graphic design elements should reflect these. Photographs, color choices, location, and size are all important considerations. The foremost concept function is the content, the basic message, article, or story. When you read the publication, what is the initial message that you receive? An important aspect of the copy and art is how it is directed at those that are expected to buy or read the publication. A good example of this is choosing simple, fun, and few words when writing a children's book. You would not use complicated words when your audience would be young children. The final concept function when designing publications is including sub-messages or hidden messages. These may not always be present in the content. Often information is biased or one-sided. Are we going to choose to report only the content that will make the company look good? Do we have words that reflect the company's desired image? Often a company's desired image is included in the print design. A catalog or advertisement brochure will have images of their logo, products, and services. These company images are known as branding or brand. An example of this would be a brand of cereal. In a large, many-page publication, it is necessary for the artist to break up the data into sections or chapters and figure out what order to put articles in. This is called sequencing. What pages will particular stories be printed on? There are many types of sequencing. Sometimes more than one is used on a single project. Breaking up information by subject matter, importance, specific areas of the publication, simple to complicated, are some ways to divide up elements. A major magazine usually has a pre-established area where the cover story goes, where the human interest article is located, or where the humorous articles go. Images go hand in hand with writing. Photos and illustrations can decorate, catch the eye, elaborate, or symbolize ideas. Art can be a snapshot of the story's main character or colors that reflect the order the articles are in. Colors. Hue or color can play a major role in imagery. The designer has to arrange all the visual elements, including typography, to fit a color scheme. Often, small print jobs use limited color due to low budgets and the high cost of full color printing process. The artist must think, how can I best create a visual appealing project using only black, white, gray, and various percentages of blue? Color can communicate to the audience members in different ways. They may bring about emotional responses, such as fear or happiness, based on the reader's ethnic or cultural background. Color combines with symbolism to reflect ideas in the content or identify a company visually. The overall look of the printed page involves a combination of colors. Depth can be implied by particular hues. An image or type may be emphasized by using red, surrounded by a black or white background. Soft colors may be aimed at soothing the audience. Saturated, intense color usually stimulates the reader visually. An important use for color is for section identification or sequencing purposes, such as articles having a color code or color progression. We may quickly identify a page with a red tab or bar going across the top. Unfortunately, our textbook has no glossary, so at times we will encounter terms that have to be defined by their surrounding text. I will do my best to go over any of these terms. One such term the author uses throughout the book is literature system. This is usually a planned series of publications, often sequential, with a unifying idea or company theme. An example of this would be a series of direct mail advertisements. These elements of type are all ways of getting the audience to look at one part of a message or the main concept represented in the story. Location is always important. Our eyes have been trained to look at the top and left on a page, start there and move across to the right and down. The graphic artist commonly places important information there or at the center of a page. It is often a good idea to use 2 to 4 different fonts in one literature project, providing visual contrast and excitement. Don't go too far by using too many display or fancy fonts. This can be a design disaster. Another form of typography is the logo, a company's name written with fancy type, shapes, and symbols. These logos quickly identify a company and are used on every type of graphic design project. The last part of the lecture will examine a few case studies, just like the publication design workbook uses its last 2 sections to examine popular publication design and what's good and bad about each case. This is an example from Design Magazine, and here you will see that typography is used in a variety of ways to excite, emphasize, and create a theme. This 2-page spread is from Design Magazine, and it is an advertisement for a contest dealing with design. Type and graphics dominate the spread, which is only one 2-page spread, rather than some publication designs which we'll examine that will be multiple page spreads. The colors and text are used to attract the eye, create a mood or theme, and the feeling of a game or contest. It will emphasize ideas and provoke the reader to get involved in the contest. The primary function of this advertisement is to provide information about the contest. The secondary function is to appeal to the audience, which are typically young designers. The third is a point of view, and that is one of excitement and one of a contest that offers prizes or incentives for the readers. The images reflect alley signs, billboards on brick in urban areas. It has a semi-flat look to it, and images look deteriorated or aged, and the type used are mainly display fonts. Large, bold, heavy-weighted fonts perform many different functions. They grab the reader's attention, They take the audience's eye through different parts of the page and lead them to particular places. They emphasize various aspects of the contest. And finally, they appeal to the intended audience. Case Study 2. This is a magazine article, and this consists of several multi-page spreads. And it is about a detective type story. Layout, colors, images need to unify the different spreads. And the primary function is to tell a story. Secondary function is to appeal to mystery readers. The tertiary function would be the point of view of the author, not so much that of the magazine. Images use light and shadow to continue the mysterious feeling. The monk painting on the bottom right corner is used to add an additional element of fear and reprehensiveness. Blocky type is used in boxes, which has a ransom note type look to it. Typewriter fonts are used, and the type crosses over two-page spreads in both these two examples of this article. It has a 3-column layout, and photos, illustrations, and captions are all used in combination with the written article. The fonts and layouts are unified between the two spreads, although the first spread and the second spread use different colors and slightly different layouts. The sequencing is in chapters, and it is chronological. The images and the colors all help to create the mood that the author and the magazine seek to display here. This is the end of Lecture 1. Thank you.